Okay, here are the real basics on synchronous. First, I'm going to start to draw something. And I'll just draw a rectangle. You gotta lock the sketch to a plane as opposed to opening a sketch on a plane. It's an odd difference, but in synchronous, sketches that are on the same plane actually get merged. So I locked onto the front plane. I'm now sketching on the front plane. Here's my rectangle. Notice that one of the text boxes is highlighted, so I'm just going to key in 6. Then it moves to highlighting the other one. I'll key in 4. And then it moves to highlighting the angle. I'm going to leave that at 0, obviously. Now, that's one way to do it. You can key in stuff, but that doesn't put dimensions on anything. So after that, I'm just going to go through and put in dimensions. There are 2 colors for dimensions in Solid Edge, red and blue. Red is a locked dimension, and locked means it's driving. So you got 3 different kinds of terminology for that: red, locked, and driving. Notice that this one line at the bottom is turned black. So now I'm going to put up the other dimension, and the whole thing turns black. There's some special settings. These aren't on by default. Solid Edge is a lot less concerned about the fully defined thing, but the settings are there for SolidWorks users who are maybe a little overly concerned about that. Okay, so now to extrude this into a solid, I can just pick in here and drag it out. I don't even have to start a command. And then I can key in a value to be specific. You see a lot of dragging things on screen with synchronous, and that's not to say that you can't be specific or detailed or precise, whatever, with Solid Edge, but the option is always there. It's just one way of doing it. You can change blue dimensions. If I click on this, I can make this 3. But I want you to notice the arrows here and the arrows on the dimension itself. These say that it's going to change symmetrically. So when I press enter, it changes symmetrically and it comes off of the origin. There are 2 ways to deal with that. Let me undo this, Control Z. 2 ways to deal with that. One way is to click on this side, the top side of the dimension, so that you only get that arrow. Or if you just click indiscriminately on the dimension, you can change that arrow like this and then put in 3. Okay, but that requires you remembering something. All right, so I'm going to Control Z that change as well. You can create persistent relationships. So to do this, I'm going to use face relate and ground. So I'll pick this face as grounded. I'll also select this face as grounded and the back face, and then either right mouse button or click the green to accept. Alright, so now that relationship is recorded here in the synchronous pathfinder, and I've got a ground relationship on those 3 planes. So now if I change this dimension, it doesn't matter how the arrows are set up, and you see the arrows have gone away in this dialog box. I can change this to 5. I can change it to 2, and it's always going to remain the same. And this will change. I can change this however I want, and notice it's always going to change the correct end. Take a look at the sketches. The sketches are kept in this Use Sketches folder, or what they call a collector, and that sketch is still there, but it doesn't have any relationship to the solid. It doesn't drive anything at all. You can probably go back and edit it, and to do that, you can right-click on it and restore it. Now it's an editable sketch, but it's completely independent of the model. You can reuse it for other things, but it won't update the model. So that's a real quickie on the basics of synchronous and how to use the dimensions, how to lock things down to the origin. I hope this answers some questions and maybe brings up some more. Thanks for listening.